Hi everyone, this is Ravi. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is our lesson 8 on Katalon Automation tool concepts. So in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how can we integrate Git or GitHub with Katalon Studio Automation tool. So till now I have covered a lot of basic concepts like how can we automate the test cases without script, and how can we automate test cases by using record and play, and then how can we automate test cases by using scripting mode, and also how can we perform parallel testing, and how can we perform cross browser testing. So all these concepts I've covered until lesson 7. I would suggest you guys to please do visit those lessons before you watch this session. So from this session onwards, we'll be going very deeper into the technical aspects of the Katalon Automation Studio. Okay, please do subscribe to the channel, click on bell icon. You'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos on these concepts. Thank you. Okay, first of all, why do we need the integration of GitHub with Katalon? What is the reason? So let's assume if you are working on a project by using Katalon Studio, so you would need one person should work at a time. That means you have installed Katalon Studio tool in your local machine. Let's assume that local machine is a remote machine. Okay, you gave an access to everyone to that particular local machine, and you ask everyone to start working on that particular project. Then what you need to do, so only one person can work at a time, and also we cannot maintain any change history. Let's assume the team member A added one test case by remoting to that particular machine. Let's say the team member B added another test case. So then we will not have the change history because Katalon does not have change history. And also we cannot revert to an earlier state as we don't have the change history. And also we will have to maintain multiple copies of the code for a particular project. So if you want to work, multiple team members needs to work on one particular project, you need to maintain multiple copies. Then only they can work on their particular machines, right? And all this whatever we are talking, that is a manual effort, and which is an inefficient method, and it is a very time consuming process, right? And then what is the workaround for this? So that is where we get a version control system like GitLab, GitHub. Okay, so that is the reason we need a GitHub to maintain the version controlling, and also multiple people can work together, and multiple people can work on the same project at a time. Okay, so now let's see how can we perform Git integration with Katalon. Okay, so there are 5 to 6 basic steps that we need to perform. So when you are actually integrating Git with Katalon, first all team members need to install Git on their systems or Git plugin on their systems. And then someone need to put a copy of a project on the remote repository GitHub. Once the basic project, the initial project is created in the GitHub, and then everyone will clone the above created project from the remote GitHub to their local machine. And once you clone the remote repository to your local machine, then you need not to have a network. You don't need any internet. So now everyone can now start working on their local copies itself without internet. That's the beauty of GitHub. And also anyone can commit and push their changes to remote GitHub once the changes are done. So if everyone wants to do on daily basis, you can do on daily basis. Basically on daily basis, you can commit or push all your changes which are done in your local machine, that you can push into GitHub. So these are all the steps that every member need to follow once you integrate GitHub with the Katalon. So now let's jump onto the system and see how can we perform all these actions to integrate the GitHub with Katalon, and also after integrating the Git with the Katalon, what steps we can perform, how can we clone the project from Git repository to your local machine, and then how can we make changes to the project, and once you make changes to the project, how can you push the changes to the Git repository. I'm going to show you practically with some examples. Okay, so let's jump onto the system and see how can we integrate GitHub with Katalon. Okay, so this is my Katalon Automation tool. Okay, so let me create a new project here. Okay, let me create a new project called Git Test Free Project. Okay, so let's create a new project in Katalon. Okay, so this is my new project. Now let's go to our GitHub and then create a new repository in the GitHub. Okay, so let's go to GitHub. So this is my GitHub, right? And then these are all the repositories I have. Now I want to create a new repository. Click on new. Now let me name this as Katalon Git Free Project. Okay, free project. Okay, so now let's click create repository. So as soon as you click create repository, you are going to get the basically you will have a URL for the repository. Okay, so now if I go back to my Katalon, so if you see, I already have this Git icon enabled. Sometimes what happens, you might face that you might have this Git icon disabled. Okay, that time what you need to do, you have to go to Windows and then go to Katalon Studio Preferences, and then you have to navigate to Katalon. Under Katalon you can see a Git. Okay, you have to enable this Git integration. Okay, click apply, and then as soon as you do that setting in preferences, your Git will be enabled here. Okay, Git will be enabled. So now first what we need to do, so as I explained you, we need to clone your empty Git repository. Okay, all the team members, every team member perform this action in their own machine. Copy this empty Git repository where you are going to store entire Katalon code base in this central location. Everyone is gonna access the code from this central location. Everyone is gonna check in the code in this central location. Okay, so copy this, and then you need to clone this Git repository to your local machine. Okay, so for that we need to go to Git and select clone project. Okay, as soon as you select the clone project, it will ask you to enter the URL. So I have entered the URL. Okay, and then you need to provide your email ID and the password for the Git repository. Okay, and then click on next. As soon as you click on next, it is saying that your repository is empty. Yes, the repository is empty right now. I want to clone that empty repository itself, and then click on next, and then click on finished. So as soon as you click on finish, you can see that now your entire project, the project will be cloned If you see here, if you see, it's showing me Katalon Git free project. Now the location is this. Okay, Git. Under Git, it's got cloned. Okay. So now let me refresh this. So currently this is empty. Okay. So now if you see, now let me do one thing. Okay. So let me first, I am a team member A called Ravi. Okay. Now Ravi wants to make a new change. That means I want to create a new test case. I want to create a new test case to automate the login functionality. Okay, I'm creating a new test case. That means I'm automating a login functionality. Let's assume. Okay, click on OK. So now I want to push these changes, whatever the changes I did. I have, let's assume that let me add one step also. Okay, let me add one step to open browser, right? And then specify this the probably specify the value as google.com. Okay, just example I'm giving. Okay, so now I automated login functionality. Let's assume that. Okay, now I want to push these code changes to Git repository. For that, all you need to do is go to Git and then click on commit. So as soon as you click on commit, if you see this one, Git staging window will be opened. If you double click, it's gonna fully open on the window. Okay, now all these files, whatever the unstaged changes, you have to drag and drop onto staged changes. I want to commit all these changes, right? And provide your comment stating that first project, okay, add project to Git repository. I'm adding a project to Git repository. Okay, click on commit and push. Either you can first commit and then push, or you can directly click on commit and push. And then if you see, it shows me, okay, the corresponding remote this is, and this is your master branch. Okay, click next. Sometimes it's generally asks you again re-enter the Git username and password, and then confirm if this is the branch. Yes, I want to push to this branch. Okay, finish. So my code is pushed to remote repository. Now just refresh this. As soon as you refresh this, if you see here, I can see all the changes here. Means my initial project I can see here. Okay, and also I can see under test cases, I have a test case called login test, right? So now let me delete this test first of all. Okay, let me delete this. Okay, let me delete in my local machine. So as soon as I delete the test case, you can see that there are two changes appeared here in the Git staging, and just drag and drop here, deleted test case, deleted test case, and commit and push. So again, now if I refresh this, if I go back here, so if I refresh this, I already refreshed. Okay, if you see here, now there is no test case folder at all. That means this is my initial empty project of my Katalon, correct? So now let's create a new project. Now Ravi wants to create a new login test case. Okay, new login test case, and then I want to record a test. Okay, what test I want to record? I want to record okay, I want to use same website what we use in generally for testing. Okay, I want to record this one. Okay, copy this. So let's create a new test case, login test case, and then start recording. Okay, let's start recording, initialize record, and this is my URL, record. So as soon as you click on record, as you all know, it opens the website. Okay, and then let's log in, done, and then log out, and close the browser and save the script. I want to add all the locators objects into the default folder. Okay, click on OK. Done. So as soon as click on OK, you can see that now it adds all the steps. You see here all the steps are added here now. Okay, so now I want to add another step here, add another step to close the browser. Okay, close browser. That's it. So now my test case is done. Save all the changes. Okay, now you can see there is object repository, there is a test case as well. Okay, all the objects are added, your test case also done. Now I want to push these changes. It's a team member A, Ravi, will be pushing these changes. Okay, let's push these changes. Commit. So as soon as you click on commit, it's gonna show you. So these are all the different changes happened. Okay, drag it to the staged changes. Oh, okay, you have some more because these are all the object repository also, right? So all these changes drag here and then added a new login test tc and object repository or commit and push. So if you go back here and refresh your Git repository, now I should see test cases. So let me just refresh again. So now I should see test cases. See here, I have a test case here, right? And then I should have a object repository, right? All these object repositories, correct? Repository references and the test case. So now let's assume now another team member called team member B. Let's say team member B made some changes to the same repository in his local machine and he pushed some more changes. Let's say he added one more test case to this folder. Then as an initial team member, what should I do? Because I already pushed my code. On top of my code, another team member pushed some other changes. Then what I need to do? I have to pull the changes. First, see, tomorrow morning I'm coming to the office and now there might be chances that some other team members might have also worked on this project. They might have checked in the code to the same location. So now I want to get the latest changes, latest version of this project. For that, I need to go to commit, click on pull. So what it is going to do? It's going to pull the latest changes from the master branch and then click finish. As soon as you click finish, generally currently you don't have any changes, right? So generally you will find a new change happened and it's going to show you what is the change and what is the latest branch that you available, the latest master branch. It's going to show that. And then you are going to select that latest master branch, click on OK. It's going to bring the latest updates. And then you need to go to manage branches and check out the branch. As soon as you pull the changes, right? As soon as you pull the changes, you need to go to manage branches and then click on checkout branch. So as soon as you click on checkout branch, it's going to show you the latest branch that is available in the Git repository. And then click on OK. So as soon as you click on OK, you can see the latest changes available. Basically the latest changes are the latest version of the project. That means you are going to get all the changes that are made by some other team members as well. Hope you understand, right? So let me explain one more time. Okay, you made your changes. So the next day morning, some other team members made changes and they checked into your Git repository. Then you need to perform two steps. One, pull the latest changes, click finish, and then once you get the latest changes, you need to go to manage branches and then check out the latest branch. So once you check out the latest branch, you will get all of the changes done by your team members. Okay, So that's the way you will be managing, and you will be managing the history of the project. You will be managing checking in the latest codes and check out the latest codes from the Git repository. Hope you all understand. This is really very important concept in real time, because a project automation generally performed by the multiple users, not a single automation tester. Multiple automation team members will be working on automating the application. So this way you can manage your entire version control, and then everyone can perform their own changes in their local repository, and then they can push the changes to the remote repository. Hope you all understand the very important concept of Git integration with the Katalon services, Katalon Studio. Okay, so if you have any queries, please do provide your comments in the comment box. I'm gonna reply to your queries. And please do subscribe to the channel, click on bell icon. You'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos on these concepts. Thank you.